Welcome back, everybody. Dren608 plays. We are playing Unconditional Surrender here. This is a solo playthrough using the board game Arena module developed by Luna LOL. The game was designed by Vasta and developed by Mark Dey. And I'm supposed to say another name. Alan Hill, I believe, was in the development team as well. Sal asked me to make sure that I mentioned them, and their names are in the credits. We finished off August with a spectacularly lucky set of die rolls and managed to collapse France. Unfortunately, from the diplomacy side, we're woefully behind on Italy coming in the war. The Allies have managed to literally just dilute the cup down to nothing. The Soviets, for their part, have had a very interesting diplomacy. They have not gotten any of the Baltic states, Bessarabia, but they did get Finland on their side. The Germans got Sweden and took Norway and are holding that, even though the French tried to intervene a bit. So there is that, but in general, the Germans are not really ahead of the game because ideally when you conquer France, you would like to see Italy come in at the point that you conquer France so that they can get a jump on the British in the Middle East. The British have suffered the loss of the BEF. The Western Desert Force is trying to hold out in the Brittany Peninsula, and the Germans are woefully behind on aircraft capability. So we do have that problem as well. I have... What did I... Where did I put the other German aircraft? I see two here. There should be a third German aircraft somewhere. I am not seeing my third German aircraft. Is it in the east somewhere? Where did I put the third German aircraft? The third German aircraft has gone missing. There should be 5 on the board, and I moved this one up here in the hopes of getting it into Stravenger next to this turn so that I can start affecting the British production capability. That's what I did. Because they're going to get their foreign intervention. They outclass me in the air. There's no question about that. So I'm going to try to do something. It's a 50-50 shot that I can possibly get Italy more likely in than not. We're going to go for Vichy. So we are going to declare war on Vichy here in September while we have fair weather. It's a stretch to try and take them out in September, but I'm hoping that I'll get away with it. So that's what we're going to do. If you like what you're seeing here, please hit the like button. Please leave comments. That gets it out in front of more people on YouTube. You'll see the link that this is be published in Board Game Geek files or video section. And I'm trying to get to 500 people before the end of the summer, so every subscription helps. If you do subscribe, you can hit the notify bell, be notified when I'm posting videos. And when I'm doing streams, I do stream 3 times a week on Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday. Right now, there might be another stream coming scheduled come the fall. I might go to 4 days. Right now, it was fan picks for Saturday and Wednesday. Wednesday is Knights of the Old Republic, Star Wars, the old version of it. I understand there's a possible redo of it coming up. I'm not sure. But that was a fan pick. 100% said you're going to play that on Wednesdays. So I'm stumbling my way through that. And on Saturdays was also a fan pick. I gave them a choice of several computer role-playing games to play. And the one that they picked was Baldur's Gate 3 as a monk, but using the Drunken Submaster, Drunken Master subclass for that playthrough. So that's interesting. Fridays has been an experiment trying to get out a multiplayer version of Baldur's Gate 3. I've had scheduling problems. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Um, so that has been kind of stalled out, and I have the person that I was doing the multiplayer with, which was my youngest um, child, Ace. They've had lots of problems with scheduling, being able to schedule and get things done with me. So they basically encouraged me to go ahead and put up another Baldur's Gate 3 stream. And what I do is when I can't do the multiplayer, I've been doing a stream with um, one of the origin characters, and they told me I had to play Gale. So I have Gale going there, and so that's a Gale Goes Forth. Both of those, the multiplayer game and that one is modded to allow me to take more than 4 characters out. So there's some interesting stuff going on there. I returned here to Unconditional Surrender because the rules have changed quite a bit as far as the diplomacy rules go and some of the reinforcement things for the Soviet Union. So I thought it would be interesting for us to explore all this and basically do a solo playthrough using Board Game Board Game Arena's module. It enforces the rules. I would say it's 99% correct. There are some edge cases when we were having to do home defense repatriation that it doesn't always register the numbers correctly. And it's usually in an edge case where like you don't have like near the end of the game when Germany is losing border edges and things, and it doesn't seem to count things quite right. But that's a very much of an edge case that does not really affect the game. There also is a slight change on how they do the allocation of support units. It's both sides blind pick. It's not like in the board game where you have um, you both blind pick on whether you're going to commit or not. And then based on that, if you say yes, you must commit at least one type of support. If you say no, then the other side just gets to commit whatever they choose, so they can choose to commit less than they might have been ready to do. In here, it's you pick everything you're going to commit right away. You don't have a choice. So you're either committing it all right away, or you're committing nothing all right, or whatever amount you want to choose. So it's still a blind pick, so you don't know what your opponent's necessarily going to do, but it doesn't give you that slight edge of knowing, well, he's not committing at all, so maybe I don't need to put in both the tank marker and the airplane. I only need the airplane. I can save the tank marker for something else. So that's a slight departure from the board game, but other than that, it is very much, very much, very much the game as it should be played. And it enforces the rules. It doesn't let you miss any phases. I mean, you can be dumb and click right through them, which I've done in several games, but it at least presents itself with all the rules. Anyway, we're going to try for Vichy. There's a 50-50 chance they'll just say, nah, we don't want to fight. Yes, I want to declare war on them. And if you look over here, it said they rolled a 5, which means Vichy said, nah, we don't want to fight you. So you declared war on us, and we said, here, we surrender. So that's bad for the Germans. It kind of messes up what I had hoped to do. I was hoping to have to fight them, conquer them, get a pro marker to put into Italy, and then be able to pull a pro marker and get them in the war. Now I don't have that option anymore, and I really don't have anybody else left to declare war on, which means Italy is probably never going to get into the war. The mechanics for doing that are just beyond me. It is one of the things that were changed in diplomacy that I guess I'm not real happy with. They did give Germany more flexibility in being able to place markers through the Baltic because they kind of owned that sea. But in doing so, it's made it very hard. I have played probably 7 games now. I would say 7 out of 10 of my 10 last games, Italy has not come in either for my opponent or for myself. It's something along those lines. It's a very high percentage that I don't seem to be able to get Italy in if I want to get anybody else. Okay, I usually tend to like to get Yugoslavia because they've got 2 production points that are basically protected, and they have 2 ground units, that are decent. So anyway, that didn't work, and I really don't have anybody left to declare war on at this point to get Italy in the war. The only one that would be left would be Greece, and that would be a very hard fight, and the British could probably intervene and really mess things up because I don't have the Italians to run interference. So it looks like we're going to have another game where I'm not getting the Italians in the war. Anyway, we will say we're done with this. They don't need any points. They don't need any points. Let's try and get started on the Commonwealth. So we pushed them up by 1. The British are now down 2, but they're going to get 3 factories here in a turn or 2, I believe. Yeah, by November they're going to get 3 more factories. So I want to try and get them down by 3 factories at least, in the hopes that that'll make a difference. Strategic move for the Germans. At this point, I think I'm just going to move this garrison up here into Rotterdam, because he has to end up there anyway. And just say that that's what I'm going to do. The British really don't have a strategic move at this point. They don't have any threat in the Med, so they don't have to worry about that. They can just concentrate on defending England from any sea lion and going forward. And the Germans don't even have their surprise attack marker back on the board, so I might do that with the Germans this turn. I'm not sure. Okay, so they're done. Soviets don't have anything to do because they don't have anywhere to send anybody. So the Germans, we might as well just get this over with. We're going to put this in Stavanger. Now we've got 28 points to spend. But we don't really have a good attack on the British, because we don't have an armored unit over there. So we're going to go ahead and move this armored unit. I can get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, minus 1, plus 5. I can get 1 plus 5 on him. Okay, let's undo him. Let's get something else done first. One thing I don't want to have is the British. Unfortunately, the British are going to be able to get to here because I don't have the Italians to capture it. But I'm going to go to here. And then I'm going to go take Marseille. Marseille is more important because you really don't want the Germans being able to capture that. The other thing I need to do is make sure I get the other port, because we don't want to, again, I do not want the British just gallivanting into any old given port. He'll stay there until I have a garrison to sit in that space. I can get, my aircraft probably won't get through, but we will try this anyway. You can go here, do an assault. 12th. And the 7th. And because I'm doing that, I can actually bring a German aircraft into here. And then do this assault. Throw in our aircraft. The British want to hold that really bad, so they're going to put in both of theirs. We confirm the attack. It will do an air-to-air combat, which they won but didn't work, and we got stopped, so we didn't even get through. So the British could hold on in Brest for like the entire summer. This is bad for the Germans. Okay, we're down to 23. I really want to get this armor up here, so I'm not going to be able to build the surprise attack marker this turn. I need to get the armored up here so that he can get in some attacks if we get fair weather in the next couple turns. He's going to go here. going to have this guy go here. And then head out. I'll have this guy come down here. And then we'll have this guy. Oh, I thought I clicked on you. We'll have this guy move down here. And that'll be it for the Germans. They do have another armored unit who was supposed to help Italy, but I don't think it's going to be able to. So I will go ahead and just get it moving east, I guess. And that's going to be the German turn. 17, what have I got to build? A couple of garrisons, so that's, yeah. I think that's what we'll do. And then we pass, because we don't really have anything we can do. We're not going to eliminate anything. We should be able to supply everybody without any troubles, except when we get to Norway. Now, for Norway, we're going to hold off on the airplane. And then I'm going to take this guy. He's going to limited supply there. And then I'm going to have this guy just go into Oslo. We're not going to waste the few sorties I have on the fleet there. And then we will go to the west. Now the west doesn't really have a lot to do at this point. They do know that they probably are not going to face a real Italian threat. So I'm going to move Force H like to Plymouth. I could try to intercept it, but it's kind of pointless. So no, we're not even going to try to intercept whatever they do, because they're only going to make this harder on me. When he tries to bring the BEF or tries to pull the DF out, then we'll start talking about things like that. Do I need to have all these assets down here? I don't think I need all these assets down here anymore. I think I'm going to move the Med fleet to... do I want to bring the... I think I want to do that too. I'm going to do that. I think I'm going to do this, which is probably not the wisest thing, but we're going to do some shenanigans. We're going to have this convoy go here. We'll bring the Med fleet with us. We're just going to go there for now. And then we're going to have Malta leave the fort, do a naval transport. No, we're not going to escort. And we're simply going to move to there. And then we're going to move back to Malta. And the reason why we're doing that is now he can't, even if Italy comes into war, he's going to have to fight this British guy. And because it's an island with only one city like that, he will always be in supply. So he's just going to be a thorn in the German side. And it is a place for me to be able to put like an airplane to help with an invasion around Marseille in the far future. So that's what that's all about. Okay, and then we're done. I don't think we're going to get rid of anything. We're not going to try to do any shenanigans here. He's the only guy that's got to try to do a supply run. Use the convoy. And just go to Plymouth. Now you could try to run up the convoys, but it's got full sorties. Okay, which means the best you could do is like put 3 sorties on it, and then it would use another one to supply them anyway. and then just replenish, and then they wouldn't have to worry about it for the next several turns. So I'm more worried about him trying to transport like a garrison or something into Cherbourg than that. So we're not going to intercept. We're going to let it go. And then this should take care of most everybody. There we go. The Soviets are really kind of stuck because they don't have extra armies. They're kind of lined up where they need to be if the war were to start tomorrow. This is about as good as they could get. The Finns are holding the big, the line here in case the Germans send real infantry or armor up there. They're holding on to Helsinki because that's 4 will points and would crash them. And then they've got these guys to at least make any kind of invasion by the Germans in the future with a surprise attack marker. You have to roll dice because the Germans no longer have their airdrop marker. They lost that in one of their operations here. So if you look on the thing, you'll not see the German aircraft coming back at all. The airdrop marker got used up. So we're done. No, we're not going to skip anything. We're happy. And they splato. And we're done with that. Germans get to do replacements. They've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Why do I? Oh, do I have an airplane that's at? Oh, I have one airplane that's out of supply. So I've got 17. I can do 15 here, and I can build 2, but I want to be able to try and take a shot at getting that pro marker. So I'm only going to do 4 of these. So I'm going to do the 4 airplanes. Just get started on the Eastern airplanes. And we'll say we're done. The British have 15. They're not interested in pulling from the cup. They want to make sure that they get their aircraft back because they're going to need it against the Germans. Probably the one in Brest. And then they could go maybe get this guy all together. Now the choice is whether they do have, this guy's going to cost 2, so I'm going to have to go past the 5 anyway. So I'm going to go ahead and just up the Med fleet so it's done. And then I'll build my BEF in Plymouth with the idea of moving it into Brest next turn. Okay? That's the idea. So that's September. The Germans can only can't really mobilize because they're down to 5. That's right, I did 4. So they can't really mobilize these guys because they want to take their shot. So they're not going to buy anything. The British are going to build the BEF back in Plymouth. It did its job. Now we will try to bring it into France to hold on to the Brest Peninsula. And we confirm. The Germans have a 1 in 3 chance. So, and if they don't get it, the Soviets will finally start to get some land. And they pulled the pro axis. Yay. We're going to go to Italy and put a second one there. So at least I have that. The Soviets are going to get an area finally. Hooray. Now, if I remember, now this is something that changed in the rules. I wanted to point this out. I'm happy that it happened. It used to be that once a unit joined your side, like Finland here, that once they joined their side, you couldn't get this anymore. That's changed. As long as there's no Axis units in an active minor, which is what Karelia is, they're an active minor, but there's no German units, okay? So with there being no Axis units in here, those are Soviet units. They're Soviet-aligned units, but they're not Soviet units. So there's no Axis units. You can actually take that space, which is what I'm going to do. Okay? I get the factory, I get the 2 national will, and Finland is still on my side. So that's one of the main changes of the diplomacy, is that the Russians can still do that. Okay, now we're on into October. We've got severe weather down here, so no airplanes at all in France. We're not going to do anything there. They don't need any. They don't need anything. It's just a straight up die roll. Although I now see I'm +1 because I have the airplane. And I am working on them. They're up to 3. At the beginning of next turn, I might get it up to 4, and then they'll get 3 things, and they'll be back to where they were before. So the West is getting a little low on production points. But we are going to do a little bit of shenanigans when they get a chance. The Germans get a strategic move here. I think what I want to do is I'm going to take the Nor infantry. I'm going to strategically move it to Malmo. Oh, no, 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 no. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. Undo that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take the garrison unit. Oh, nope, nope, nope. Went back too far. Oh, we already did this. No, you're not supposed to do that. Okay, that really messed this game up. Okay, it's not supposed to go back that far. All right, but it did. I'll have to report that as a bug at sometime in the future. But it shouldn't have gone back. Once you've rolled the dice, it's not supposed to go past wherever you rolled the dice. It's not supposed to do that. So that was my bad. So I didn't get the extra factory down on the British. So, but that's the way the game goes sometimes. They can do a strategic move. They don't have one. They don't have one. Okay, the Germans, it's severe, so it's the same thing. The only difference is that there's no airplanes or tanks here. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I probably have to move this guy out. But anyway, so what we're going to do is we're going to do this first. +2 to +1. Okay, so we should go for the +3. We should go for the +3. +3 to +1 halved, and then I will show you, I've been showing you this little tool you can find on Board Game Geek. So he's a +1. We are a +3, but we are halved. There's only 11% chance that I actually take the hex. So not real good odds at all. We confirm the attack. We commit. There is no effect, so we won't do anything else. We have 5 points left. I think other than moving this aircraft back to like Metz, where it can't be hit by British air. And I think we're just going to pass at this point. We don't really have anything else to do. I want to build those other 2 garrisons here in October. So we're going to pass. Skip this, confirm. Supply all. And then doesn't matter who goes there. One of them is going to go. Stockholm. Limited supply. Because it's severe, they can't invade, so I don't care. The West, it's severe. If they want to intercept this, they can. He's going to move to Nantes. And no, that's silly. And then the British are going to try to move the BF with escort to here. I chose not to try to do any intervention, and then we're just going to stay there. Since he doesn't have the paratrooper, he can't invade at Plymouth. He can't drop a paratrooper on it, so I don't have to worry about that. And then we are done. It was a fast October. Supply all. So now, this guy. Use that convoy to Plymouth. Now I could try to just ring him up, which is probably what I should do. We're going to go ahead and ring him up if we can. So we got him for a few, and now he just now he can just say supply all, and we'll take care of it. And the Soviets again are stuck in this same situation. They do have Karelia now, so they're going to be able to build an army, and they'll just drop that like up here. They don't have to guard Viborg from a German invasion from Finland, so they'll be able to drop that army down here in the south to help start shoring up the line along the Bug, which is what they'll do. So in order to do that, they can build it in Brest. So they're going to move this guy to here, and then they'll just be able to build the line, and then they will pass. Skip that. Confirm. A supply all. The Germans are going to replace this airplane and be done. The British want to make sure the BEF gets up, and then probably want to do three. We'll do this one. See, I really want the British to be able to put in a marker, because they could try to put in a political success in a no event to give the Soviets a chance of either getting an area seized or a political success. Do I want to do that? Or do I just want the Soviets to do whatever they're going to do? I think I'm going to let the Soviets do whatever they want to do. I'm not going to put a political success in there. I'm going to use up my last 7 points to get Force H back up and just say that I'm done. Okay. The Germans will be buying a surprise attack marker. They're not going to pull this turn. They're going to build the 11th in Königsberg. And then they're going to build the 6th garrison in Dusseldorf, because that'll go to Amsterdam. And then they're done. The Soviets are going to build this. Probably in Brest. Okay, we're all done. Now, the only one that can pull is the Soviets, and they're going to get an area seized. So they're going to take this. And now they're going to go ahead and get Bessarabia so they have the river line. So they can move the front line forward a bit. And let's see. We got fair down here. This is good for the Germans. We're not going to declare war on anybody. We've got a chance to try and bust through in France. So we do this commit again. We did take them up one. You will see now that the British had 3 plus 8, 11. They had 22. Right? Next turn they'll have 20. And we got to keep working on them to try and get that down. Okay. Strategic movement. I I guess we could just save the points and just strategically move him to here. Because he has to go there anyway. So we'll confirm that. And the British can do a strategic move. I think I want them to be able to be forward one space. Because it's fair weather. Or do I want to do that? Ooh. Do I need to be able to move, or do I want to be forward? 4, 5. That's an interesting problem. I think I'm just going to sit still. And the Soviets now, they actually could do something with their strategic move just for kicks. They will strategically move this guy to here. Just to say that they did something. All right, so now we need to go back over here. Oh, we got troubles right here in River City. So the German 12th has got to get the heck out of the way. So it might as well go do something useful with its life and capture Toulouse. And then head back north. He'll get railed to the east in a minute. Actually, he'll become the garrison army in Marseille. And I'll move the first. All right, this guy can come up the rail in a minute. We've got to move the airplanes forward. Much as I hate to do it. And then we have to move this airplane forward as well. So German Air Force is showing up, but it's not going to be doing real well. All right. The armored unit's going to get 3 attacks here. The first one's going to be at +5. And we're going to try to hold. If we can get an AS here, that would be perfect. No effect. Okay. So now they attack again, using any aircraft they have. The British have got to try to hold. So it's +5 to +3. And we got to retreat, which is what they wanted. We take this. He'll go back to Plymouth. Now we can attack again. Okay. That was a mistake on my part. I forgot to. I can't naval evacuate. There we go. And then the armored unit will go here to keep it in place. Well, the 7th will have a decent shot at him. Ooh, I got a lucky die roll there, and he got retreated. So now he's stuck, and I can go. No, I don't want to go there. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that, do I? 1. I want to be able to go 1, 2. And try to get to Brest. All right, we're going to take a chance here on this. I'm only going to get 1 really good attack with an aircraft anyway. So it's not going to matter. Is it? It might. And we'll attack here. We're not going to use our aircraft this time. And the British, seeing that they might lose Brest to an attack, are going to save their aircraft as well. DR retreated. Now, I can do a naval evacuation. If I do that, the BEF will probably die. But I think I'd rather have one saved for sure. And we'll just go to Plymouth. And then I can advance after combat. Doesn't really matter. We'll do it. So the 7th did its job. Now the 18th gets a shot. Gets to attack once. We both throw in our aircraft, so it's +5 to +3 because I have them isolated. And got no effect, but I get one more attack at +3 to +1. And we got a DR. So he's flipped because there's no more evacuation possibility. And then I am 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So he's done, and unfortunately, I cannot get all the way there. But I am going to send this infantry to Nantes, I guess. And I'm going to put this garrison to here. I'm just going to start heading back to the east with the 1st. He will move in there next time, the 6th. Let's see, I've got an army there. One of these armies will stay here, and I'll have an army there. That'll be my 3. So he will start heading back to the east as well. And I'll build a garrison for Amsterdam. And then you are going to do a slow march back towards Malmo. Okay, I've got 18 left. I am done with the Germans. Yeah, because I want to try and get that airplane going too. Okay, so pass. Confirm. We'll do this aircraft. You guys will stay at limited supply. The British have to make a choice. The West has to make a huge choice here. They could stay here and suffer 3 assaults and bring down like fighter command down to here to help fight it off next turn. But they'll be +3 and be able to get both of their aircraft involved. If it's poor, they would be +3 to +4 -1 -2 +2 to +2 3. It's going to be poor come the winter. I guess we try to hold out through the winter. So we are not going to do anything here. There's no reason to do anything other than move the fighter command so that I have more sorties to this space. The other thing that's nice about this space is it guards this sea zone and that sea zone for both 7 and 10. So Hex 2709 is a good place to stick an aircraft for the British. And since I don't have to worry about the paradropper anymore, I can leave London undone as long as I have home here. He can't get into London before I can defend it. And I'm going to say I'm going to pass. Supply all. Let me just say this. Okay, Soviets have got to do some line adjusting here. Okay, so he's going to go here. He's going to go. Say you're done. Say you're done. He is going to go here. Otherwise, we're pretty much done. Okay. Voluntary elimination. I didn't want to bring that up. Replacements. Okay. I really can't do anything this turn. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, I wanted to get this guy started. That's why I did that. I need to have both of these come back up. Him and him leaves me with 5. There's nothing in the cup. So for me to put in a political success and a no event, it's a 50-50 chance the Soviets get a political success. So I have to not go there. Maybe I put 2 no events in. Because I don't have anything that I can do short of moving the armored unit to Greece and trying to take out Greece in the spring to get Italy in. It's a little late to bring Italy into the war. I'm going to be kind of messed up here, I think. I do have an armored and a garrison, which is 3 points. So I can't really take another airplane, because if I want to build those 2 things, I need at least 3 points. I could take an airplane and build the armor and forget the garrison, but I think I'm just going to let this go. Make them think I'm going to do diplomacy. Okay, in the west. Him and him. And airplanes. I've got 5 left. So that one needs to be done. Oh no, I've got 9 left. So I can go ahead and get this one completely fixed. And then we will hang on to the 6. Maybe do something in the diplomacy. The Germans are like, it's more important that I build my army than try to play games in the diplomacy cup. That's going to be the British and and he gets to build another army. Didn't want to start typing. He's going to come over here. He's going to build that in Cernate. So now he has a sort of kind of maybe line. Sort of kind of maybe line. Now, the British will consult with the Soviets and say, what would you like? And the Soviets will say, put in an area seized and a no event, because if you put in a political success and I pull the no event, then Germany's guaranteed a political success next turn, which I don't want to give them. So the British go, okay, we'll put in an area seized, which puts in an area seized and a no event, and then the Soviets try to pull. And they pulled the no event, which means next turn it's definitely going to be an area seized. So they're going to get another country. And now we are in December of 1940. It's poor weather, severe. Okay. What's my time? 49 minutes. It's going to be just about an hour, but we're going to get in the whole September through December here. We're not going to declare war. There's no point. They don't need any points here. Neither does Finland. Sorry. Well, we've got to try with our lousy +1. And it didn't work, so the UK is going to get even more points next turn. Strategic move. The infantry that's farthest away is the first, so it's going to get strategically moved to probably here. The West can do a strategic move, but there's really no point. The Soviets can do a strategic move, but I don't really see one for them. When they get another country, they'll do some strategic moves maybe, but... Okay, so the Germans have got to try to pull this off. This is going to be very hard to do. So they're going to start with the armored unit. He will be 3, 4, 5. 6 from an airplane, -2 will be +4. He'll be 1, 2, 3. So we'll try that first. Right, so we are now +3 because we're +5 -2. And we get to add in an aircraft. And then the British have got to try and do this. They've got to try and hold. And they held for 1 turn. And now the Germans are just going to keep doing this one guy at a time. So that's +2. And throw in an aircraft. And the British will try and defend again. So it's +3 to +2. Not real good odds here. Nope. Not going well at all. So this is not going to work. This is terrible. And the British didn't even bother to send an airplane. I was dumb, but it worked. Okay. And then just because we can, we're going to hit that airplane because he's going to hit me anyway, so I might as well make one of his airplanes go up. You need to move into here. The guy at Nantes is going to have to replace the armor, I think, next turn. The armor is going to have to get on a rail line so it can rail back to the east by May. We really need to have this taken care of. Okay. That's the Yugoslavs, the Swedes. I don't think they have any. I gotta check and see if I'm supposed to move something for the Swedes. No. He can't really get to Narvik now, so maybe we move this guy back here. And then back into Germany. We need to move these guys up to the front. So we're just kind of filling in the line here. Okay, I think that's it for the Germans. Did they have anybody else to move? Oh yeah, they were going to move this guy. into Amsterdam. So that the western defense is complete. As complete as it can be without capturing Brest. Okay, we pass. No, we gotta rebuild things. Supply all. The West does not really have anything to do. They've got 20 points, but nothing really to do. There's no good place to try and do like an invasion in poor weather, so there's pointless. They may end up, well, when the BF gets kicked out, when do I get my naval evacuation? Not until April, so most likely the BEF will die in place. Okay. Yeah, I see no reason to do anything this turn. That's supplying the warship. No. Now he's going to supply the BEF. It's poor weather. And he's going to go ahead and use the escort. Even if I hit him and stop him, it doesn't really stop him. With the Kriegsmarine, and I think I want to keep the Kriegs. I think I want to keep this in case he decides to use that surprise attack marker for an invasion. So, yeah, we're going to let that go. Okay, Soviets have a little bit to do here in December. Things are looking up for the Allies here. No Italy and pretty good strong positions here. We don't have these guys yet, so we can't really move forward. If anything, this guy might move back because we're going to be somewhat exposed there. Maybe I don't want to be around the border. Maybe I'll move back to here. Okay, and then we will pass. No? We will be moving the airplanes back through the winter here. Supply it all. Replacements. Okay, the Germans have 15. If they do 3 airplanes, we know which 2 they're going to do up here. They're going to do this one. And they're going to do this one. They want to get the Panzer. Does Panzer need to be at full this turn? Probably not. I can do 3 more. I think I have something to build on it. No, I don't. Okay. If I did this one, then he'll be at 1 sortie going forward. He might be just fine. Decisions. I am going to try to do something in the cup, so I'm going to say that that's what I'm going to do. The British are like, I don't care. My airplanes first. This convoy next. Force H to guard it. That leaves us with 6. Which lets us do something in the cup. So we'll confirm that. Now, this is where it gets interesting. The Germans could put a no event and a political success in. It gives the Soviets 2/3 chance or the British 2/3 chance. But what we're going to do is we're going to put a political failure in the cup along with a no event. Now, anybody wants to pull that, there's a chance that I'll get a political failure and help Germany. Okay? And the Soviets are like, well, I got to pull to get my Baltic states, right? So the British are like, well, we're not going to pull. Well, if we pull and get the area seized, then the Soviets could put a no event and an area seized in. Or we could put another area seized and a no event in to try and give the Soviets a better chance. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to put an area seized and a no event in there. Now they've got 2 out of 5. 2 no events out of 5, 2 good things, only 1 in 5 chance that bad thing happens to the Soviets with a political failure. They pull a no event. Okay. And then we are at January. We've got poor weather again in over here. So we'll see if we can't get this to work this time. Only having 3 hexes to attack from is a problem. But it's not unlike the problem we have in Calais a lot of times. The problem is we don't have fair weather to do the attacks. So we're going to do a little bit of maneuvering to do our attacks, and then we'll see what we can do. 3, 4, 5, 6 minus 2 would be +4 to +1, 2, 3. So it would be 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 minus 2 +6 to +3. All right, well, we'll check that out next time. Just so you can all see that I actually do this. I go in here to save the game because something to remember when you're playing a solo game is that all of every turn is your turn. So in the background, BGA does keep track of like total game time. And if it doesn't see a move by the only player registered, which is me, it won't see me ever getting this clock out of being out of time. It says it's always running, okay? And at a certain point, once you rack up enough time, they will end the game saying that it seems to be abandoned because nobody's making a move, even though you're making moves all the time as a solo player. It doesn't recognize that you're making moves for both sides or all 3 sides. It just says there's only one player and he's always on the clock. The clock's never stopping for him. So that is a bit of a problem when you want to try this out solo, like I'm doing here. So always save after every session, or if you want, after every turn. I'm doing it after every session that I do it, so I can just pick up where I left off. So we're in January 1941. We will be moving forward with the attempt to try and clear the British out of the Brest Peninsula. It's going to take some extraordinary luck, it seems like. And then we will commence Operation Barbarossa without any Italian or Mediterranean interference, which is going to be very, very hard on the Soviets. Or not on the Soviets, on the Germans, to get anywhere and do anything. Okay? So that's where we stand. If you like what you see, hit the thumbs up button. If you really like to see, go ahead and subscribe and hit the notify bell. I am trying to get to 500 subscribers before the end of the summer, so please, if you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe. If you hit the notify bell, be notified when I upload videos. I also put up polls for people to vote on what I'm going to do next. And I believe in my comment section of the video, you should see a link to my Discord server. It's called Dren608 Plays. If it's not there, go on to Discord and look for Dren608 Plays. You'll find me there. You can make a request to join that way. I am Dren608 on Discord, I believe. That's my handle there. So you should be able to find me looking me up that way and request to join the server as well. That server is basically for discussing games offline, like games that I'm doing videos on, and you can maybe suggest things that I should do, things that you'd like to see me record in the future, questions that you feel like might be a spoiler, like in the case of computer role-playing games, which I stream on Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday. You might think, well, I don't want to spoil it in the comments, so you can go on the Discord server and, either ask me a question or point something out to me for me to do online. All right? So, thank you all very much for watching this, and we'll come back and work on the first 3 or 4 months of 1941 next time. I'm Dren608. Until we meet again, stay safe and bye-bye.